Hey, it's Butler here again, and we're looking at players. Finally, we're looking at players. And what we'll be trying to do is trying to personalize everyone a bit, trying to slowly over time sort of introduce you to different players individually, and hopefully everyone can get a bit of a feel for the team and feel as immersed by the team and the squad as real people and real players as much as I will throughout. First up, I've picked out the three sort of main guys. The first rule is probably don't use your real life knowledge to judge them in game. I know that's kind of odd, but it's really weird because especially in somewhere like the A-League where it's so self-contained and players move around a lot, you can really make or break yourself if you go that way. You've got to really try and create a second person of them, and it, especially as they grow and change compared to now, that's the difference. You've got to make sure that you're following the actual in-game person and not just always basing them on the real world person. So anyway, what you're looking at here is Brahma, Barrow, and De Silva, and the first two are clearly international players. Brahma's Dutch and Barrow is Spanish, and one is playing in midfield and one's at defense. Probably two of the keystones of the team. I think they're both quite big guys, both responsible. They're obviously a little bit older, 30 and 32 respectively. They're going to really anchor this team and hopefully keep us together as a unit. The third player is a personal favorite of mine, and this is where I sort of lapse in keeping my emotions out of this one, but Daniel De Silva is a really bright young Australian prospect, and he plays in the international under-23s, and he's sort of been on the fringes of trying to break into the main squad at times, so hopefully he gets his chance soon. Here in game, he's a 20-year-old attacking player, and he's going to sort of hover around in attacking midfield. He's not really a winger, he's not explosive like pace-wise, but he's a really creative player, and he's really good on the ball, and I think given the opportunity he can make a bit of an impact. I'm not sure how much we can base our team around him, but he's a key player to look at, and he should give us some options. If you want just a snapshot of the team, I don't want to break this page down too much, but here's the whole roster. Obviously the star ratings are there. I kind of like using this page or a version of it. I don't know, I included the happiness just to show that there are so many players that are pleased to have joined the team, like Ben Kennedy at the top there, so we clearly have a fairly fresh team of new faces, and you can see there's a couple of sort of gaps in sort of the back line maybe, and maybe on the wings we're a little light, but I'm not going to get into that too much right now. We'll worry about that as we're building the actual team. Squad dynamics is a new part to FM18, and it's important to take a bit of a look. Basically what will happen is, as the season goes on and issues come up and things like that, players will come to you, or they'll want stuff, or you'll treat players like this, or you'll give them certain contracts, and all the bits and pieces, all the day-to-day stuff that you do, a lot of the players will take a side, or I agree with this, or I agree with that, or they might get fed up if results aren't going their way. And it's important to have this hierarchy of team leaders as sort of shown on screen. And we don't have anyone in the top tier, but that would be a couple of extra players as well usually. And the idea is that the more those players tend to respect the manager, the more they'll help keep the rest of the team in harmony, and the dynamics should sort of filter down. So someone in the bottom tier might get upset, and everyone will just say, look mate, just calm down, we're all on this page, you need to get up with us. And so if you have the right sort of structure, like this pyramid structure here, you can generally keep control of that. Obviously we have a bit of a leadership void, so it's important for us to concentrate on that sort of element to make sure that we set ourselves up to improve where we are here. Team leaders obviously come from general personalities or experience or reputation. You get a star player from overseas, he will probably be quite influential just because he's been there and seen more. Players that stick with the club favourites, things like that. So we'll probably be hoping to try and build some of that over time. Obviously just throughout the season this will change as it needs to. I don't want to go too much into who's where and what at the moment, just wanted to show that it exists as the thing, and maybe we can look back at it later. And finally, in the list of screens that I don't want to talk too much about, but here they are just in case, this is just a general report from our assistant. I don't find too much of this that great. Most of it you will learn from yourself. On the right hand side, for example, There's not that much depth outside the first team. Well, we only have like 20 players. There's not that much depth in goal. Well, we only have 2 keepers. Not much depth at left back. We only have 2 left back. I mean, I get it. We're in the A League, so you're not going to have 3 or 4 coverage players in every position. So you just have to make do with what you do. And so I don't find a lot of this information that useful. Maybe some of the positive stuff is good, but when it gets down the bottom and it's like, this is a good goalkeeper, this is a good right back, this is a good left back. It's like, well, look, I'm gonna pick our best right or left back. I don't need that, but it's there. And again, it's something maybe we'll compare in 12 months time or 6 months time or whenever Ivan Jolik decides to send us the next one. But anyway, so hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea, a bit of a summary of the players. Hopefully it wasn't too long. We're going to now go and have a look at tactics next time. I'll whip up some tactics and explain what we're doing and why, and then we'll probably go straight from there to pre-season fixtures, and I'll start showing you some of those. Thanks again for hanging around, and I'll see you next time.